Hey everyone, I'm Annie G, and welcome to my channel where the scents are sweet and the takes are spicy. And today I need to talk to you about something that's been bothering me so bad recently, and that is the dupe shaming inspired by shaming that is going on online in the perfume community. You know exactly what I mean. You know the people that I'm talking about. You know that there are people online who look at someone's collection or hear someone talking about how much they love an inspired fragrance or a dupe fragrance and go in on them for cheapening the industry and ruining the art form and contributing to the fall of the fragrance community. And I think that is the most elitist thing and the biggest load of BS I've ever heard. And I'm going to talk about why. First, the word dupe has become an insult in the fragrance community. As soon as you own one, as soon as you talk about one, as soon as you like one, you're admitting defeat or you're less of a collector all of a sudden online, or at least to the people that I'm referring to. You don't actually love the art of perfume as soon as you own more than 3 or 4 dupes or inspired fragrances. You don't appreciate the art of perfumery and you are just, contributing to this TikTok hype and overconsumption, blah, 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 blah. But stepping back and thinking about what those statements mean, for me, ultimately it means you can't be a fragrance lover or fragrance collector unless you can pay a certain amount, unless you can afford it, unless you can afford to buy the real thing. Because that's really what they're saying, right? Because that's what dupes are, or inspired fragrances are more affordable versions of very popular perfumes. And then at that point, it's not about fragrance, it's about elitism. And I'm better than you, I have better taste than you, and this holier than thou thing. I don't know. Have you ever felt that you were afraid to admit that you really like a dupe, or you hide having affordable fragrances in your collection because you're worried, oh, I have the fake version and not the real thing? Why are we apologizing for that? Because here's the thing that those people don't seem to understand is that not everyone has $200, $300, $400, $500, $600 to spend on a bottle of perfume. And that's a car payment, that's rent, that's groceries for an entire month. You can't just spend that on a bottle of perfume. However, perfume is one of the most personal, mood altering things. The experience of fragrance can be so comforting. It can be invigorating. It can change your whole mood. It's an expression of individuality. So why should you not be able to have that just because you can't spend the money to get the real thing? Who cares? I'm sorry, but who cares? They're not hurting you by buying a dupe. They're not hurting you by buying an inspired fragrance. Why should they not have the experience of fragrance and the experience of perfume just because they can't afford to buy the real thing? And that's the thing, is that these inspired fragrances, these more affordable dupe fragrances, make fragrance accessible, makes fragrance achievable for people who love it and love smells and love collecting but can't afford it. And there is a difference between buying a bunch of decants of the real thing and owning a bottle and having a full bottle of perfume to have on your vanity, to display really nicely, to hold. It's substantial, it means something, it represents something. Why should you not have that because you can't afford to buy the $250 version and you can only afford the $50 version? Both are beautiful. These are not dupes for each other. By the way, these are just examples because I have them in front of me. But why should you not be able to have the experience of opening a cap and spraying yourself and then putting your lovely little bottle down on your vanity? Why should you not have that because you can't afford the full bottle? And all you can afford is just a bunch of samples and decants. There is something about these inspired fragrances that make it accessible, and that's important. That's really important, because fragrance is not, or at least in this day and age, should not be a class thing. Life is so short. There are so few things that bring true, genuine joy anymore. And for a lot of us and for a lot of collectors, fragrance is the thing that brings us so much joy. It brings us community. And so why shouldn't you have that? Because you can't afford to buy the real thing. And here's another thing. We don't do this for clothes. We don't shame people for buying the Target version of a Madewell bag. We don't do this for furniture. We don't shame people for buying the IKEA version of the, what is it? The fucking Pottery Barn, or what is it? Crate and Barrel, the Cloud Couch, whatever. We don't shame people for buying the IKEA version. In fact, it's a celebratory thing of, oh my gosh, look at this Amazon bag. It looks exactly like a designer bag, but I only got it for $50. It's like praised. But for some reason, for fragrance, if we buy the $40 version of a $500 perfume, we're shamed for it, and we're not actual collectors, and we don't actually appreciate the art of perfumery. That is ridiculous. That's insane, actually. It's so ridiculous. While we're at it, can we just acknowledge the fact that these companies, these large companies that are being duped, are not suffering? They are not suffering. All of our favorite niche houses are actually, most of them are actually owned by Coty, Puge, whatever, the Estee Lauder, LVMH. They're all owned by a large conglomerate. These companies are not suffering for us wanting to find a more affordable version. Duping, copying, whatever has been happening for as long as humans have been alive. A caveman saw another caveman with a rolly stone rolling down a mountain and said, oh, I want a rolly stone. Let me make my own version of a rolly stone. And oh, now we have the wheel. Do you know what I'm saying? This has been happening. Designers have been copying designers forever. Niche houses have been copying niche houses forever. And all of a sudden, because of the blow up of these more affordable brands on TikTok, it's all of a sudden not okay. And it's all of a sudden an insult to the art and the artist, the nose behind the perfume. The perfumers are not suffering, okay? The perfumers who are making the $500 version are also making the $40 version. They all work for the same fragrance houses, and they get paid a salary. They might get paid a lump sum bonus. They might get paid like an additional bonus depending on the performance of the perfume, but they are salaried employees of Givaudan, Firmenich, whatever. Do you know what I mean? They are not suffering. You know who is suffering from rising prices? Are everyday people like you and me who love perfume and have to pick between something that brings us genuine joy and happiness and fuck, I can't afford gas this month because it's $6 a gallon. That's who's actually suffering, not these big companies. So I'm sorry. I do not at all feel bad about how many inspired fragrances I own. I do not feel bad that I own Red Carpet Affair, and I probably will never own Angelique Noir because I'm sorry, I'm not spending $600 on one bottle of perfume. But you know what? I am stoked that I get to experience the fragrance and experience that green pear vanilla. Great. Why should we be gatekeeping experience and experiencing all these beautiful scents and fun smells that are inspiring, that trigger something? Why should we be gatekeeping that for people who can't afford it? However, I do not like when bigger brands copy smaller brands' work. I do disagree with that. And sometimes smaller brands have to have higher costs because they just don't have the resources or just size to be able to keep costs low. And things are often made in smaller batches, So indie brands, very small brands who are just trying to make it, who get taken advantage by larger brands, I don't like that. And are being copied by larger brands, I don't like that. But I'm sorry. Parfums de Marly, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care that there's a dupe out there for Delina. I don't care that there's a dupe out there for Altair. Like, I just don't care. So at the end of the day, the dupe shaming needs to stop because it's actually not helping the artist or the perfumer who made it. It's just not. It's actually just hurting the self-esteem and the confidence and heart of everyday people who just really like perfume and really like fragrance and want to smell good and want to participate in something because it brings them joy. That's who it's hurting. It's hurting just everyday people for, I feel, no reason. If a $30 fragrance makes you feel incredible, yay. If you own nothing but affordable perfumes that are inspired versions of other perfumes, great. Are you happy? Does it bring you joy? Do you use them? Do you love them? Fantastic. And in the same vein, if you only own the real thing and you only have the real bottles and the full bottles and you have guidance, you have Oud Satin Moon Extrait, you have the Guerlains, good for you. I'm happy that you can afford it. I really am. But that doesn't make you a better perfume collector. That doesn't mean you have better taste. And that doesn't mean that other people don't appreciate perfume as much as you at the end of the day. So those are my thoughts. I really am not trying to hurt people's feelings, but this is something that I can't stand by people being made to feel bad because they can't afford stuff. I won't ever make someone feel bad because they can't afford to buy a full bottle. And I will always try to provide affordable options if I find them, because there's no reason. There's just no reason for people to feel bad, especially today. So thank you for listening. Let me know if you agree or disagree. Please be kind in the comments. That's all I ask. If you disagree with me, I would love to know why. I'm very much open to polite, kind, respectful discourse. I'm not trying to call anyone specifically out. I'm not trying to cause any sort of hive mind anger towards other people. I'm just merely expressing a feeling and trying to have an open dialogue about something in the community that does really bother me, because I love the perfume community. I love the fragrance community. I love being a part of it. And I just want it to be inclusive and safe and keep it that way. Thanks for listening. Okay, I'll see you in my next one. Bye.